Gamer right, folks, in the blue. She is the Queen of Blades, one of the best players from WTL last season. It's Scarlett. And the bottom left in the red for Team GP. Well, he's not a dream. It's a nightmare. Hello there, Gary Arganis. How's your day going? Your evening going? How was your day, I guess? Hope you're having an excellent evening. I had a good day. Well, kind of. I have a conference paper due to IEEE on Friday. So we're grinding hard to get that one done. I can justify sitting here and casting these games because I'm waiting for a simulation to finish. So it's fine. Or an optimization routine, actually. So many simulations to finish. Ah, gotcha, Marco Man. But I need to, let's see, full screen. There we go. I got my preview so I can actually cast this, not on the OBS preview. So with Waterfall on map 1, it's a small map. It is a map that, for a while, very much did feel like it was just a default Glaive Adept map. We saw a lot of Protoss going forward. It was inside and out in Waterfall, where even if Glaive Adepts are not incredible, I'm glad to hear that, Gary Arganis. Even if it's not incredible, it's better on this map than others. So if you want to throw that into your routine just as a method of keeping Zergs honest, Waterfall is the map that you will do it. But of course, when we look at WTL, when every map matters, and it's not like you have a throwaway, it's not like you're a best of 7, and if for your series planning, if you want to throw a weird build in and you don't really care if it wins or not because it's all about setting the mind, defining the mindset of your opponent, it doesn't really work in best of 2s. Ideally, you're winning both. Matters very much for your team, especially when you are an underdog like Team GP is. Shopify Rebellion has been dominant in the WTL last several seasons. They haven't won. They are always fighting for the top of the table. Man, there's gonna be no one. So I play in an Ultimate Frisbee League, in a full league, right now. We play on Sundays. And I won't be there because my girlfriend is flying into town. Very excited about this. Very excited about this. Haven't seen her in quite a while. She lives in Texas and I live up here. But she'll be flying in, and her flight gets in like right around the same time the game starts. So understandable. But like no one on my team is gonna. We were undefeated before we had a lot of people missing this last week. I show up and we're down. You played a 15. We're down like 12-8. And by the time I get my cleats laced up, we're down like 13-8. I go on the field, and it's just the two, like, we lose 2 points, and just the game's immediately over. I wasn't able to be the difference. I'm so mad. The game-winning point, though, I had the guy so beat, and then I just mid-read the disc a little bit. Yeah, MW1832, I did show up late. I have excuses. It is Cyril's homeland, indeed. I have an excuse, and that was I was casting some absolute banger series. I was casting Scarlett versus Estrella. And I was casting Geralt versus Cyril. And I was casting Max Pax versus Gung Fu Banda. I was casting Neeb losing to Trigger, taking his first ever maps and series against Neeb. So I think that's a pretty good excuse. Personally, just saying. Okay. As much as I talked about this being potentially Glaive play, we have a Dark Shrine just about done, but there is going to be a fun follow-up here from Nightmare. He's not doing the normal thing of ho-hum, Glaive's third. I mean, he's getting a third base, or excuse me, DT getting her third base, but that's a pretty quick charge behind this. So he is getting himself, it's a little bit different of a way to get himself set up into charge lots. Into this charge lot Archon timing out of DT play. But I didn't see where the Dark Templar actually warped in. Red wine for breakfast? Marco Man, you are living a much more interesting life than I am. That sounds like a glorious Mediterranean breakfast. But isn't it Capricolo? Not Capocolo? Am I wrong? I'm probably wrong. Anyways, additional gateways are on the way. Robo as well. Charge just about done. So yeah, Nightmare, he is going to be leaning into this pressure. Now, of course, you have your third base. You do want to lean into it. But we see no probes. Well, never mind. We do have... oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is a new scam. So I just got a text, right, from a number I don't recognize. That is... So for a while, I've been getting the whole... Oh, no, I keep getting texts from this person. Someone has the wrong number. Okay, so I've been sent a couple YouTube shorts, and I just got a text saying, birthday list, V-Bucks Fortnite, money, that is all, or gift cards. Gabagool? Well, I don't know what Gabagool is. But I'm not a connoisseur of, you know, great big American gangster movies. But that sounds like a delicious breakfast. I had a breakfast of my roommates bought some chicken sausage that they weren't gonna eat, and it's like tastes just like a chicken burrito. It doesn't, but you know, it's got stuff like that. Is these Archons on the map with all three of them here. Queen will get assassinated. Her Nightmare is starting to get pretty aggressive, and the Queen count is not incredible with 4 Archons here. Scarlett, she's got to be careful. She's got a decent amount of roaches, and that's great. And as long as she's able to keep this on the map, she's going to be pretty happy. The problem is the Queens are not really in significant enough number to make sure that the Warp Prism goes down, so this will be consistent pressure if Nightmare wants to affect it. But the Zealots go down, the Adepts, I think there went down. I think maybe 1 Archon fill as well. So good defense there from Scarlett. Now she's sitting here up about 50, 60 supply. As MW1832 says, yes, it does in fact look pretty good for the Zerg, but Disruptors are on the way, and Disruptors are pretty good against this army that Scarlett is making. But look at how far this group spread is. We're 7 minutes in. And yes, it is a small map, to be sure, but we are already... The creep spread is already on the other side of the map. I'd like to point out the build that Scarlett used to kill Neeb earlier today. Now, we don't even have time for that because the army of Scarlett coming crushing on in here. Shield battery overcharge is popped. We actually have no biles on the shield battery until just now, and there we go. It will go down. And there's an Archons, 2 Archons in a corner trying to do what they can. Actually, looks like Disruptor maybe got a shot on the backside, but folks, Nightmare is in fact very dead. Scarlett's reinforcements here are making sure that that is the case. Because he has 16 army supply and Scarlett has 82. And she was telling me that in TVZ it's Zerg favored, but in PVZ it's Protoss favored. I'm actually curious. Let me pull up the stats here in the bottom right. It is Scarlett in the upper left, of course. It is Nightmare. Cosmic Sapphire. What are the stats across all professional games? Oh, okay. My intuition was incorrect. It is about a 47% Zerg map win rate across 313 games. And actually, across 106 games, in TVZ, it's about 50-50. But because that map is banned out so much, that number doesn't really mean all that much. But I was making some point that I forget what it was because the game kicked off in earnest. That's fine. I'm sure it's important, someone will remind me, or come back to me. So game 1, we saw Scarlett go and kind of just crush Nightmare. Technically, MW1832, technically a sample size of 21 is enough to establish significance. But yes, 3% is 3% is, yeah, out of 300 games, 3% is significant. The reason I'm saying, oh, okay, it's 50-50, I'm not attracting a lot of significance to 100 games because that's not even a rule of thumb. That is something that is taught in in all of my engineering stats classes. Like, if you have 21 samples, that is enough to be statistically significant. Like, that is what is taught in engineering stats. So anyway, where was I going with this? The reason I say the 50-50 might not be all that significant as a marking of whether the map is balanced or not is because when we have that low gameplay count compared to the number of games in the other setup, it tells me it's banned a lot. And if it's banned a lot, that means that when it's let through, it's often that there's a specific build or a specific idea that is involved. Yeah, honestly, I don't remember enough of my stats to make a value judgment on that. You know, I thought Casimarzu was Spanish. But I can understand that. I mean, when I travel, and I don't travel as much as I would like because, you know, poor PhD student. Although, fully, we got the number today. Fully over 50% of the graduate students, of stipend-supported graduate students at Dartmouth signed union cards yesterday, as the part of the union launch. So that's pretty promising. They're asking for like another $1,500 a month as part of our stipend because we effectively pay Boston rent and we do not get paid Boston cost of living stipend. I don't think we get an extra $1,600 a month, but that's what they're asking for. We'll see. I mean, this is going to be a long process. I don't even know that I will be at Dartmouth by the time we properly benefit from it. But to paraphrase something that Aristotle never said, but it's attributed to him, society prospers when men plant trees. When fathers plant trees, they will never see the shade of. Or, Barry, I guess even more. You know, society prospers when people plant trees that they will never benefit from the shade of. But Nightmare is going disruptor drops here in game number 2, and I think Scarlett versus Neeb actually. Was it Scarlett Neeb? Scarlett played a PvZ recently where she got brutalized by disruptor drops. I think she lost about 25 workers very, very quickly in that game. Yeah, I'm tacitly supporting the unionization effort. I'm not one of the leaders, because I am co-president of the engineering graduate student body. So I work directly with the administration. So I'm not trying. I'm trying to make sure that I maintain that political position while still supporting it. Ooh, alligator is delicious, Gary Arganis. Actually, if there are a bunch of things like that you want to try, I don't know where you're from, but in Washington, D.C., there is the Native American History Museum, and they have an incredible food court filled with, they actually worked with tribes from all over the Americas about this, and a bunch of high-profile chefs, and they have a bunch of regional indigenous foods. Oh, these are going to be a bunch of dead queens. Good splits from Scarlett at the end, but still loses 2 of them. Ideally, she only loses 1 there. They have all this food from regions of all across the Americas, like traditional indigenous foods. So if you have stuff from the disruptors drop out once again. Yeah, they don't have their cooldowns just yet here, but trying to bait something out just a little bit. Shot goes out. 1 queen gets assassinated. There really is no stopping that. Even a transfuse is not enough. It hits too quickly. So Nightmare's doing a good job. Scarlett losing 1 more queen than she should have. But we're not seeing that game-defining damage just yet. We're not seeing 16 workers go down or something ridiculous. Oh, those are some stacked up. 1 disruptor goes down, and actually, I don't think that many drones died. So those are stacked up drones. They don't get targeted by Nightmare, and instead Nightmare just loses the disruptor. Game still going pretty well for Scarlett at this point. Losing a queen or 2, fine. Getting that disruptor though, because this build more often than not does go into a double disruptor, 2 or 3 disruptor, 2 Colossus all in. And because Nightmare lost a disruptor, that slows things down. That being said, he is still building probes. He's not, of course, fully saturated on 3 bases. So for now, he is going to get himself up to that 66 odd mark. And of course, his time to move out is when he has Blink done. So we're going to have to see if that is what Nightmare opts to go for, whether he, instead goes for 4th base. But as he's adding 4 pylons at a time here, it does seem like Nightmare wants to get aggressive, although it's a bit of a wrinkle in this all-in. I think there's only 1 Colossus instead of 2, and he's getting more disruptors, which can make a lot of sense, especially as this is on a ping. Well, this is on a no-ping setup. So if anything, this does favor Scarlett a little bit. It's often harder to counter micro than it is to micro when you're both on ping. This is why we see Zerg players that get 6-lings instead of 4 when they're playing against, say, Solar's playing against Clem. But now the Stalkers, they blink forward, and they're going to get a couple queens here to start. Queens are really key as anti-air, as the ability to shove the Warp Prism out, and just really as a HP buffer. But Scarlett, her supply is actually not, she's on 83 workers. It feels like she's over-droned just a little bit because she is equal on army supply with the Protoss all in. Biles are going to try to land it. Oh, they're going to land significantly there. That's a way to start a hold. A couple sentries fall. Colossus actually starts to take hull damage from the from the Biles. That should never happen here, but Disruptor Shot goes out. Doesn't get much of anything. This Ravager, there's a little bit too far forward. Scarlett looking for the surround that she can find, and there's actually not a lot of force fields. There's like 1 or 2 in this army, maybe 3. On the right side, Scarlett's going to try to find a surround. It looks like 1 Disruptor falls, and now I think all the force fields are out. Unless more sentries get warped in, but it doesn't look like we're really seeing that much. But the supply of Nightmare continues to grow. Scarlett, she's got a lot of minerals, but really lacking in gas. They're morphing in more veins, trying to make this happen. But Nightmare does a great job of only fighting where his part of his opponent's army is. So a bunch of Banelings will fall here. And now the Starks blink forward. They think they have an opportunity. Did they overcommit? Banelings get on top of just about everything, but nothing really goes down. And Nightmare has bopped Scarlett in this game. It's just been a slow roll, and all of a sudden Scarlett has just run out of supply. Despite being on 83 workers, she was never able to get, and despite keeping her army supply fairly even, not trading all that much at the start, she was never able to build her army enough. But at the end of the day, Nightmare takes the win I was talking about. I thought he could take a map, and he does. Nightmare 1-1. In the upper right, in the blue, folks, he's for the Rebellion. It's Byun. And the bottom left, in the red, for Team GP. The absolute cheesiest Protoss player imaginable. His name is Prince. I mean, I'd love to. The Bar TV, I am probably one of the biggest Ryung fans on the face of the planet, because we cast Steadfast Nightcast when we were doing the Katowice B stream. We did, I think, 8 of 10 Ryung games. We got to chronicle his rise to a form that we have not seen since he was, you know, top of the GSL. So it makes me very, very, very happy. But yes, I don't know who. It seems like John Bartholomew is a chess grandmaster. International master. Okay. Yeah. No, but yeah, when I travel, I try to travel by my stomach. Greece is on my bucket list at some point. I have been to Italy, and I understand that Italy is not Greece, but I was actually a little disappointed by the Italian food. But granted, I was on a trip with my Latin class, so it was a lot of like trip food. The stuff I had when I was able to get away from where all the menus were in English were fantastic, but that was really hard to do because we were only given about 30 minutes. As by the way, Byun has gone for a Macarax here in game number 1, got a Reaper out of that, but it seems like Prince will scout it. We were only given like an hour to, from inception, go and get food. And if you all know anything about Mediterranean cultures, Spain, Italy, whatever, that is not a lot of time to actually go and get food. I mean, I can see we both have a close crop beard. But I am not particularly, I taught myself a little bit of chess because I was told my younger cousin got really into it. So I, of course, had to beat him down. And I did successfully. We can't have them getting uppity. But anyway, Reaper finds his way to the main base, but Prince is aware of what's happening. So already an Adept is there, and the Reaper doesn't get that much done. Where does Byun go behind this? He's only on 1 base. I talked about this just being a Macarax, but he's gone Barracks Factory before getting that 3rd base. Getting that natural, excuse me. So this does lean into a couple different builds. This can lean into Cloaked Widowmine drops. This can lean into Hellion drops. Byun has been doing a lot of extremely aggressive plays against Protoss as of late. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was saying this is just because he has the GSL and he's Crater in his group and he wants to hide builds. He's still doing it though. So it's going to be fun to see where he goes for. He's got 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions, and I think we're just going to see him. Effectively, he's playing a TvT build. And I always very much enjoy seeing when builds transcend matchups. When you have a TvP build that goes up into TVZ or something, you're like, wow, this kind of works out. As the Reapers go high, they go low, but no Reapers will fall. But yes, the power of Christ compels you. I am glad that you think my vibes are close to someone who you describe as incredibly wholesome. That's a great compliment. Thank you very much. Night Reaper's diving the natural here. Phoenix gets a lift. One Adept will go down. Second one, it's going to get a Reaper, but the Zealot's not going to get much done. Second Reaper falls, and it looks like this is just going to trade early game for early game. Prince has done a great job of building these early game units, and it means that Byun, in a game where if Prince had played like he normally would, or like a Protoss normally would, he would have gotten damage, but instead, doesn't get anything done. Rootfly, it's not even 9 o'clock. The night is young, my friend. Not keeping you up at all. Although, I can if you want me to. Oh, Byun just barely misses a Cyclone lock on there. So the Phoenix stays alive. And now as Byun is going into Raven play behind this, the decision for Prince to go into Phoenix in general is great for a couple reasons. First of all, it's a one-base play. Phoenix are incredible against that because there's just... You don't see mass barracks one base for the most part. And this Raven will struggle to get onto the other side of the map. Golden Sea, only the best StarCraft content. If you think it is anything else, well, you just got to get your mind out of the gutter, my friend. I'm just keeping y'all up late with the best StarCraft content. What, did you think I was saying something else? Oh, yeah, no, that I noticed that in Europe in general. I spent about 6 weeks in the UK studying abroad a couple summers ago. And, yeah, it was like, yeah, as you're talking about, just... there was not a broad gamut of things that I could buy, but everything I was getting was, like, super fresh and high quality. It was fantastic. Made me very right. Oh, yeah, Marco, man. Yeah, that was the problem. I couldn't really explore the food as well as I would have liked because, again, it was on this school trip. We were all in the touristy areas. I couldn't go out of my way to go, say, like, to the Jewish quarter of Rome, for example, or, whatever. It was all, oh, yeah, we're going to go, we're at the Trevi Fountain. You have an hour to go find lunch. And it's like, you don't have an hour to go walk, to find a place where English is not on the menu, get your food, and come back in an hour. Not in Italy, not for lunch. Hey, Golden Sea, thanks so much for the follow. Now, Phoenix is going to dive into the main base here, and even with the missile turret. Oh, actually, wait, that Phoenix gets very low. Byun not going to have a lock on. And there's actually just not a lot of anti-air, so the Marines all get picked up, and as the Marauders fall as well, Prince doing a great job here. Lock on one Phoenix, and that is dead. Yeah. Maybe even a little bit of an overkill. Considering how trapped those Phoenix were, I might have wanted to see lock-ons on 2 different Phoenix, but, I mean, that's a value judgment. Hard to tell. Little do you all know that Marco Man and Golden Sea are my Twitch chat crushes. I'm not going to ascribe gender to you, but my my ex crushes. There we go. Hey, I see a Discord notification and I respond immediately. Although I am sorry, Golden Sea. The Scarlett games have already happened. You can go back on the Twitch VOD if you want to go see them. But now the bio stims forward here. Force fields kind of missed. Byun goes right on through. He's up about only 8 army supply, though. I don't really know that he breaks through this. Not with the Colossus, not with the Immortals, but he's going to try. Widowmines, they need to burrow up, though. There they will as the army goes back. But we talked about how hard it would be for the Raven to find its way onto the other side of the map with the Phoenix out. But because of the way Prince has been playing, he was really not able to snipe the Raven down. And actually, the Raven is still alive, so a long-term disable on that Colossus allows Byun to fight Widowmines and Cyclones, kill off the majority of these Phoenix. And while Byun does not break Prince, he trades pretty damn well. But now Byun, he's got his third base on the way. It's actually on location. This is much quicker than it would normally be if we're talking a standard 3-1-1. But I feel like at this point, as the Terran meta has evolved, I need to stop talking about this. Oh yeah, no, it's because Byun is. I can tell you exactly why Rootfly, at least in my opinion. Several things. First and foremost, he plays incredibly active. So it's never just like what Spirit played against Goblin earlier today, which is kind of a lot of sit back and wait, which can be interesting on occasion, but not every game. And on top of that, he is so good at... He does not know how to lose these games. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't lose games, but he is so good at coming back into it, especially against Classic, who loves to pin Byun back into a corner, and then Byun wins anyways as he spreads out here looking for the fight, but Cyclone just goes down. I don't think Byun wants to take this fight in the middle of the map, not against 2 Colossus and 2 Immortals. As low as this army is, he will be chased back from whence he came, but he sits in the line of sight blocker, knocks down a little bit more, and he's going to look to do it again as he establishes position on the high ground. And by the way, we got a Zealot run by, but these are slow Zealots. They don't do all that much. They're not fast. They're in fact slow lots, but there we go. Raven will fall now. Only 1 Colossus can fight at the moment, so Byun taking this opportunity, stims on forward. SCVs are getting pulled, but they're not really being pulled all that effectively. They got to go from so far away, so they're not really tanking any damage. Byun stims forward here. The rally trying to knock everything down, and the bio will knock down the gateway units. Can they knock down these Immortals and these Colossus, though? That is the big question, and the answer is absolutely, indubitably yes. Only 2 Stalkers remain. Great fight there from Byun. He loses 17 SCVs, though. And the Zealot run by, the slow Zealot run bys continue to find value. This is ridiculous. They're slow Zealots. They shouldn't be doing anything. And the fact that they're doing even a modicum of damage offends my my sensibilities as a StarCraft fan. But they get damaged regardless. Until that last fight where they don't. And now Prince was forced to recall Byun onto the other side of the map. And despite losing 17 workers, he still has 52. His army is now up over twice, 2.5 times the army supply of what Prince has. And I don't know that Prince is going to be able to keep this 4th base on the way. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep his upgrades on the way, but I'm not totally sure what the tech is. And so the Vikings, the Vikings, they just exist to fight this last Phoenix. More and more Zealots warp in, but we don't have a Twilight. I for some reason I was thinking there was Blink, but there is no Blink. Byun holds on. And game 1 goes the way of the Shopify Terran as we see him be blurred the hell out. But he put Shopify back in their winning condition. In the upper left, folks, in the blue, up 1-0 for the Rebellion. He's up 1-0 in the series. It's Byun. In the bottom right, in the red, down 1, Prince. Golden Sea, this is live as I'm talking to you, but the games were played on this series approximately 36 hours ago. Normally, the World Team League happens Friday, Saturday, Sunday, somewhere between 6 and 8 a.m. Eastern. I can't do that, so I then go and I cast them 7, 8 p.m. at night for a North American audience. And maybe a Korean audience. Look at this. We got it. Oh, so Prince... Shout out to a couple years ago when Prince almost killed Maru with a cannon rush. Almost knocked him out of the GSL. Didn't happen, but it got very, very close. Let's see how Prince has improved his cannon rushing abilities. Because cannon rushing a Terran is an interesting time. Because they can lift everything up. They can float away. If they don't build an orbital, they can put their SCVs in the... they can put their SCVs in their command center, at least some of them, and they fly away. But... the cannons are going down on the high ground. There will be a pylon, and unfortunately for Byun, okay, oh, that's big. He gets the probe, but unfortunately for Byun here, he is gone, and he's gone for a 2 Rex, as he's now going to find himself walled into his main base a little bit. And going for a 2 Rex means that yes, Marines are decent, but what you really want is a factor here. You want Cyclones, you want tanks, you want something that can actually knock things down away from sit out of range of the cannon and knock things down. But okay, it looks like. For the moment here, Byun needs to knock this pylon down. And he will be able to do so. So at the very least, this pylon that is putting pressure on will knock it down, but he needs more Marines. He needs to be able to prevent these probes from getting up on the high ground. And there we go. Cannon will be queued up for the moment. So probes go up on the high ground here, and this is going to get chased down pretty quickly, but Marines, oh. 1 Marine goes down. I thought they were out of range. And now Byun supply blocked. 20 out of 15. Losing that supply depot is a bigger deal than we thought it was. These cannons... they have some insane range. And the problem is, with Byun in this setup, he can only mine gas off of 1 gas. Affording the factory units is going to be difficult in general. So let's see what exactly Prince is going to be able to get done here. Now, Prince is expanding behind this. This definitely needs to be pointed out. This is not an all-in cannon rush. This is a contain. He's got his Nexus done. He's got a gateway on the way. Finally, he'll get his Cybercore up eventually. And he is macroing behind this. Like, this is a setup where Byun has to be very careful. He has to punch his way out of his own main. But I love how non-committal Prince is. He's not pushing cannons. He's not trying to end the game. But Byun has to react to that as if this is what will happen. Now, of course, we're 3 minutes in. There are no cannons in the main base. We haven't seen any additional pushing. So Byun can assume that there is another level to this. In fact, we're going to see his natural command center go down right now, or his second command center go down. But the Nexus is already pretty much complete. And Prince is going to start mining out of his natural pretty soon. Now, the one downside by getting your natural like this is that you don't have double chronos, so you don't have... You can't massively outstrip what the Terran is doing. Okay, Marines now, they find a way to knock down these cannons, which is fantastic. The probe goes down and there are no pylons. So this contain is short-lived. I mean, I don't even know how I can say if I can say it's short-lived. It's a 4-minute contain where Byun, it's going to be 5 minutes. It's going to be 4:30 before Byun is actually able to take his natural, even have a natural that natural command center that he can put down there. So economically, Prince is in a fantastic spot. But they're plentiful Marines. And the Cyber Core, I mean, was not that old. It's fairly recent getting that done. Ow. So Byun's gonna send his Marines across the map, and Prince behind. If Prince DTs this, I'm gonna be so happy, and also so tilted at the same time. But he does have a Twilight down. It's 10 Stalkers, or 10 Marines versus 2 Stalkers in a Cyclone. Wait, 10 Marines in a Cyclone versus 2 Stalkers. That is what makes up the army differential here. So this army from Byun represents a tremendous amount of threat. There he goes. He's going to try to chase the Stalker down, but shield batteries are tremendously powerful things. So Cyclone gets the full lock on, but, well, I don't think Byun kills anything just yet. Does pop shield battery overcharge, though, and that is a win in and of itself. It is energy that is not spent in the chrono for probes, and, well, it does maybe open up some timing for Byun to make push happen, to make pressure happen as we go a little bit later. But yeah, Golden Sea, my pleasure. I mean, part of it is I love the WTL, and I want to be able to cast it, and I cannot do it in the mornings. So it works out. And my stream title is incorrect. Sorry about that. Oops. So it will not be a Dark Shrine from Prince in game number 2. I'm kind of disappointed. I feel like when your opponent's on single orbital for this long, a Dark Shrine is actually really good. Because you know that they will be spending scans or spending mules to try to catch up. But it is kind of a coin flippy scenario, and you know, if you are ahead on Byun, might as well try to milk it for all it's worth. So the Cyclones, they're going to get a lock on a Stalker, but get in shield. But again, shield battery is a powerful drug indeed. So this initial lock-on pressure will not work out. But as the tank sieges up, these Stalkers do not have blink, and they will not have blink for another 30-odd seconds. So what can Byun get done with this? Honestly, I don't think all that much. But the Cyclones, they will lock onto a pretty low Stalker here, so that will go down at the very least. But Byun will struggle to get his tank too far forward, because blink is very close to completing. And if there's ever a time where the tank is unsieged and there's only one tank, well, the Stalker's just going to blink on top of it. But now as we add his second tank here, and I really like the positioning, it means that if the Stalkers try to blink on one to kill it, the other one will probably annihilate them. So shield battery overcharge popped once again. Immortal on the way, +1 on the way, but that's probably not going to be relevant for this push. And remember, behind this, Prince has 3 bases. He's not on an insane probe count. He's only on 47, but he does have 3 bases. And with charge going on the way, I mean, he has a good economy. He just needs to buy time for his upgrades to complete, and Byun does not want to give him that time. One gateway will go down here to start, but Prince had a lot more in production in his main base. So the production is not going to be too heavily shelled away at. Even one pylon going down is not the end of the world, because, of course, there's a second one right there that the tanks, I don't think they have range to. The Cyclone trying to find something. It will go down. A couple probes fall here. As Stalkers, I like what they're doing, right? You're trying to cut off reinforcements from Byun, but Byun seems to be aware of that. As now the Zealots run forward, but they're just going down. And with 3 tanks here, Prince, it seems like you've made a mistake. This does not seem like the fight that he wants. But Stalker's going for a concave. Stalker's actually blinking on top of the tanks. And it seems like Prince will actually clean this up at the end of the day. But I ask you folks, at what cost? Only 4 Stalkers remain out of this army. The Immortal is dead. Most of the Stalkers are dead. The Zealots, sure as hell, they're dead. And Byun gets out of this, maintains some level of a supply lead. He's equal on workers despite Prince having a third base. And remember, he has mules. But charge is due to complete rather soon. And as Prince warps in here, trying to put the shoe on the other foot, give Byun the taste of his own medicine. That third base, that was started. It will not be started for very long. Canceled immediately. So Byun is only on 2 bases here. And this pressure from Prince is significant. He's got 3 bases to power it. And that 54 worker count, honestly, that's full saturation, right? Because you need 4 less because the mineral patch in the backside only has 6 mineral patches, not 8. And then you're only on 3, yes. So you need 9 less workers there. So minus 11 workers out of 6. He's fully saturated, right? Which is, of course, I mean, Byun has all these workers, but doesn't really have anywhere he can mine from them. So for now, Prince is on contain. He wants to deny the third base. He wants to make sure that Byun is not able to grow in any way that is consistent with winning a game of StarCraft. Meanwhile, Prince is growing. He's got his 4th base on the way. He's got a Robo Bay on the way. And actually, Byun lets the Zealots in a little bit. It remains yet to be seen whether this is worthwhile because there's a drop in the main base and it is finding significant value. Letting the wall down like that, I feel like this is turning into a massive mistake here for Byun. Now only down to 37 workers. 16 workers have died. And 4 of these Zealots will get out. The rest of them won't, but even still, with this +1, they are doing a pretty good job fighting against the Marines. And in the natural, Prince is finally getting more. 19 workers go down, 20 workers go down. Byun is, in fact, dead. He let the Zealots in. The Zealots said, okay, mind if I do? Prince, he takes the game that I don't think anyone expected him to take. And now, it is on Cham, the victor of DreamHack Latin America. 4-1 and 3-1 over Special to take it home for Team GP. Folks, in the upper left, in the blue, for the Shopify Rebellion, career ascending, it's Lambo. In the upper right, in the red, for Team GP, the champion of DreamHack Latin America, it is Cham. Or do we have to do the GSL intros? Team GP, Cham. No, that's not quite right. Team GP. No, it's more like Cyberpunk for it. Team GP. No, I forget how he's doing it. Anyway. Team GP. Cham. Sure, that's fine. What is happening in this game? It's going to be 16 hatch for both players. Lambo gets his hatch down approximately half a second faster. This means the game is over. GG. It's a mirror matchup. No coming back. I lied. But, I mean, it's funny, though. At certain points, we actually can see that matter just a little bit. Not in any significant way, but when this is a ZVZ, when we're looking at builds that are... when everyone can do the same thing, getting your structure half a second faster, we will... it might turn into like a half drone advantage or something. I don't know. But for right now, Ash Gas Pool, 16, 18, 17 coming in from Lambo and Cham both. Stargazers is not exactly the map where I would expect to see a massive 1 base all in. It's kind of wide. It's kind of long across the map and fairly easily scouted on most paths. Now, if you want to go way far away, sure, you can do that. But by the time you arrive, because of how wide the map is, you're not going to be able to accomplish all that much. So where does Cham go from here? I see Runny Knots or MW1832 saying Cham studied the snipe special, as if Cham did not study to snipe Lambo. In fact, he had more than the standard amount of time that you would have to study his opponent. Right? You normally have about four-ish days to study your opponent for WTL. Meanwhile, because it was postponed a couple days due to DreamHack, actually Cham had about a full week to study Lambo to get ready for him. Meanwhile, Lambo is also focusing on DreamHack. Cham is not. Cham is done. Cham is the Latin American champion, knocking down the 17-13. Some number of tournaments in a row in Latin America that Special has won after Cham 3-1 him in the winners match in the upper bracket finals and then 4-1 him in the actual finals. Marco, man. Yes, once you have thought patterns and set, it is hard to change them, but that is the work of a lifetime. to improve ourselves, to better ourselves, to find better ways to exist in the world. Oh, did he? Oh, that's right. I thought he 3-1. Yeah, that was a 3-0. I could have sworn he 3-1'd special in the upper bracket finals. But yes, technically it was a 3-1 in the finals with a bonus map, but in the scorebooks that goes down as a 4-1. So that's what I'm talking about. But we have build variation here, and that Cham. Well, it's only it's 10 seconds later on speed. Actually, that's kind of weird. That's not normally a timing. There's a 4-minute speed that you'll get, and there's 3:30 speed, and there's a 3-minute if you go very quickly. You go pool first, like a 15 pool, but 3:45 just means that Cham was a little slow on actually spending his gas. So that means Lambo gets a good clean scout into Cham's base, sees that there's no pocket base, sees that there's no hidden tech, and the game goes on. So +1 ranged on the way from Lambo, as it just appears that he wants to be a Rochi boy, but most importantly, look at where he's taken his third base. He's taken it in the pocket position, which tells us that Lambo wants to be aggressive. He wants to get active on the map. He wants to shove Cham's face in. Meanwhile, Cham is taking a much more defensive position, and by taking the third base as it is, it means that if Lambo wants to put pressure on the third, he's going to have to travel across the map a bit further, and if he doesn't, well, you kind of build a natural surround. If Cham takes the fight, or Lambo takes the fight in the natural, trying to section off the main of the natural from the third, again, it does provide you with this opportunity to just build a natural surround. So now we have a bit of a Bailey connection here. Nice job there. I think, what was that? Cham actually took or Lambo took the better connection. Now Lings, they try to find a queen, but they will not be successful in that endeavor. Lambo's lair is rather late indeed. So +1 range is going to be very quick for Lambo in this game. But Roach speed is very quick for Cham. And actually, as he pumps Roaches here, no, these are just defensive Roaches because he did drone behind this. As he pumps Roaches here, the lack of an attack upgrade has me a little bit confused. Yeah, I need to change the that repeating message. Golden Sea. I had it going, and then yeah, I set it up, and unfortunately I didn't have a chance to make a Stormgate Sundays video this week because I was doing DreamHack. But I have a script on that I'm working on right now that I may or may not be able to record on Sunday before Saturday and Sunday before my girlfriend arrives. But I'm taking a look at how we get energy on spellcasters this week. Anyways, Nidus on the way from Cham. So yeah, this will be significant pressure coming in from Cham in this game. Number 1, Roach speed and a Nidus. It's a lot of Roaches. They are not as powerful as Lambo's, but he's up double the army supply. Lambo has no idea. In fact, he finds himself supply block. So Bailey's, they come rolling on in. They get connections on the Roaches, which is pretty important here because, again, the Roaches of Lambo are better, but if you can knock him down to about 70% HP or something, then the upgraded disadvantage really does minimize. And on top of that, Cham is up 30 workers or 30 army supply. And remember, there's a Nidus. It's out in the front. He can just reinforce almost immediately, cutting backwards. But Lambo will eventually have Roach speed. He doesn't have it right now. 11 workers have gone down. And the concave for Cham is very, very nice indeed. So he's now going to start a bunch of queens. As the queens go down, there's less healing in this army. And that means that, well, there's less healing and there's less just HP bulk in the army for Lambo. So Lambo trying desperately to hold on. Drones again have to get pulled. The concave is just better for Cham at this point. And it seems like Cham is moving from strength to strength here in StarCraft. He's the champion of DreamHack North America, and he will be the champion here of Game 1 of Lambo and Cham. Nice, gets dropped right in the face of Lambo as he will be forced to tap out. The Speed Roach, Nidus all in, takes Lambo off guard, and Game 1 on Stargazers goes the way of Cham, and now Team GP. Cham just needs to do it one more time, and Team GP will take down the Titans of Shopify Rebellion. Bottom right in the blue, down 1, trying to save Shopify and take him to an ace match. He is Lambo. In the upper left, in the red, up 1. Pretty cool Speed Roach, Nidus timing. His name is Cham, the champion. So Lambo just did not scout that out. Not properly. He thought he had an idea of how many drones were at the third base, and he thought he really had thought to read what Cham was doing, but Cham was all in. He was building roaches for quite a while. And I think the big tell would have seen if he had seen the Roach Warren wiggling, but no wiggling Evo Chamber. You don't skip upgrades if you're planning on going to a macro game. Well, realistically, this is the hardest matchup, I think, MW1832. I think Byun should have been able to 2-0 Prince, and I think Scarlett should have been able to 2-0 Nightmare. Meanwhile, Lambo 1-1-0, like anyone beating anyone. 1-1, 0-2 either way, 2-0 either way. In this match, in Lambo Cham, I don't think would be too surprising. Because it is cross Zerg versus EVZ, and Cham has been looking very good as of late. So if you want to go and say, well, you know, I mean, obviously you want a 6-0. But also remember, Lambo, he is also paying significant attention to DreamHack, where he is, who does he play next? Well, Lambo plays, Lambo plays Club next, but if he wins that one and a laser beats Max Pax, he will have his EVZ later on. You feel bad when you say the street? Do you mean the players running nuts? I mean, wouldn't you enjoy? I mean, it's not for everyone, of course. Wouldn't you enjoy, you know, playing video games professionally, sitting on stage in front of a crowd of thousands yelling your name? I mean, I would do that. One of my greatest goals, I guess, as a caster is I want to do offline events. Like, I want to feel a crowd get behind me when I make a big call. When something massive happens, like, say, that incredible comeback in King of Battles 2 Grand Finals on Blackburn between Cyril and Murr, which, by the way, is one of the best games, in my opinion, ever played. And I'm not just saying that because I cast it. I want to do that in person. I want to have the crowd respond. I want to be able to aid in their excitement about things. I want to, you know, like, there is nothing more special to me than that. I would think. I mean, I've never experienced this, but I mean, this is the goal. Lambo on the other side of the map, he got a decent amount of link pressure. He's going to... The Banelings actually will complete, so that should force Lambo back for the moment. One Baneling will connect, but that's a lot of lings here from Lambo. Is always going to get a queen, but again, the single Baneling doing a great job of warding this off. And we don't see Lambo... He doesn't really do a great job of sectioning off a ling or two to kill that off until right now. And it will actually, the Baneling still stays alive, I think. So this is great micro coming in from Cham. But at the end of the day, that finally will get triggered. But the third base is alive. Cham, he's up 2 workers. He just sustained less damage from the aggression of Lambo, or he had to build less units than Lambo did for that aggression. So now Roach Warren goes down, additional gases go down, and Cham finds himself minor lead. Minor lead, but Lambo puts on the aggression, gets just about nothing done. I don't play the piano. It's funny. I mean, I really do enjoy music, particularly like orchestral classical stuff, like symphonic stuff, but which is why I say it's funny, because, you know, piano. But I don't really have much of a musical bone in my body. My creative talents involve words, casting, writing. I can't draw well. I don't make music very well, but I can't sing very well. But Bayo can talk good, or something like that. Now Banelings run forward here, and oh, it's so scary here for Cham. But oh, there we go. He gets 3 Banelings for 2, and now he finds his way into the main base. What will he find? Well, there we go. He's gonna see the Roach Warren behind the mineral line, which tells him a lot. This tells Cham that Lambo is planning on some level of aggression that is unexpected. He is planning on some level of pressure, because hey, you don't have a Roach Warren like that. Not really. But Cham, he's only on 38 workers, and he is running across the map very quickly here, trying to kneecap Lambo before he's ready, because Lambo's on 50 workers. Up 12 is a scary position to be. I'm sorry. Up 4 because Banelings find their way into the main base. A couple Banelings on the front side will get targeted down. Lings have to cut backwards just a little bit. Roach is split. And I think this third base from Lambo may just be dead. So Lambo commits to overdroning. And he finds minimal value from it. Queen's doing a good job of keeping this one Roach alive because, you know, Cham hates that one in particular. But even still, the Queen's now out of energy. Lings go forward. Got to be very careful. Got to snipe these Banelings down. Because if they make connections, suddenly that army supply lead that Cham has is not going to be all that effective. But again, the Queens, they are out of energy. So the Roaches, the Lings, they get on top. And wherever the Baneling is not, the Lings will be. So Roaches, they continue to fall. Banelings now dead. This rally of Cham is just... It's so hard for Lambo to fight. And the third base, it is going to go down. Cham was just... He caught Lambo sleeping. Lambo was not ready. Now, Cham actually droned up behind this. I don't think he had to. I think he probably could have ended the game, but he's droned up behind this. He's on 50 works. He's droning up yet more. And even still, despite that, it feels like he's breaking right the hell on through. Queens will fall. Spines will fall. Where is the army supply of Lambo? Because I see it's just about equal. It doesn't seem like there are that many Roaches in production. I guess 5 is a decent amount. But despite that, the army of Cham is just so much bigger here on the map. Lambo is just not given the time that he needs to rebuild this army. He will never have the time that he needs to rebuild this army because he's only on 2 hatch. I don't think Mexico does not have better StarCraft players than the US. 1832. Estrella and Neeb are on a different level compared to Cham, and even Special, honestly. I mean, of course, I think Cham is very good. And he's playing a lot better, but I do put Estrella and I do put Neeb, Neeb in particular, above Special and above Cham pretty significantly. But Cham, he's changing it all up again. Spire going down. He knows that his opponent cannot match Mutas. Lambo's just trying to get his third base up. Cham has his fourth base on the way. And remember, he's not banking up a ton here. He's going to probably get about 5 Mutas. That's enough to one-shot probes. One-shot, not probes. It's enough to one-shot probes, but to one-shot drones. But behind this, he's just pumping that Roach key. So he's going to find harassment potential, the ability to sit on top of Roaches and do damage. And Lambo's going Spire as well, but he's going his so late that this pressure from Cham, I think it's just going to knock him over. I mean, yeah, 1832, sure. US has 10 times the population. I mean, yeah, that's a valid argument. But when you say they have better players, you're talking about the peak of the country. Now, if you say on average, I think Mexico has better StarCraft 2 players than North America, maybe, sure. But it's just Cham. It is just Cham and Special. Or like per capita, they have better StarCraft players per capita than the US does. Okay, fine. I'll buy that one. But as the meter shows up, Lambo taps out, and Cham makes the sign of the cross. Team GP, they took down Shopify Rebellion 4-2 in what is a tremendous upset.